What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your boy, Mr. J. Hill, and I'm here with my guy, my brother, the birthday boy.
Man, you already wildin' though, man. You already wildin', man.
Yo, Mr.
K. Harris.
What's your name today?
J. Harris.
K. Harris, you know what I'm saying? Your favorite attorney's favorite attorney. You know where I got that from?
What's up? Where you get that?
Jeezy. Jeezy say I'm your favorite rapper's favorite rapper.
That's right.
So all these attorneys out here, you know what I'm saying? They attorneys, but my guy is their favorite attorney. They call him for the help. They call the big homie for help all the time. Everybody that represent you, they call him. So you know what I'm saying? What's up, man? How you doing today?
Everything good, man. Everything good, man. Jay, man, so happy to be here, man. And got a double dip this week. Got a chance to see you and the fam twice. So that's always a good thing,
man. Well, you know it wouldn't be right if we didn't say happy birthday to my dog, my guy.
Man, thank you.
Happy birthday, man.
You know, I'm starting to realize, man, this 39th birthday is the thing, man. That really, you got to be, because you know you 1 year ahead of 40.
Yeah, you can see it. You can see it,
that
right?
thing on the horizon, man. You know, I'm excited about, you know, next year. It's funny to have a birthday this year, but no, my 40th is next year.
I know, man. You look good to be 39, bro.
Man, thank you, man.
I don't know if you're using that cream of wheat on your face or what, dog, but it look good, bro. I feel you, man.
That oatmeal lotion, that'll get you right, man.
Man, all right, so we got to listen.
Hey, we say hi to our producer.
Oh, my bad, LG. What's up, big time?
What's up, man? Well, in the black court again, man.
Yeah, you light skinned, but you're in the black court,
yes,
dog.
Sir. Yes, sir. I'll be showing.
You having a good week so far, LG?
Yes, sir.
Good, man. Good, dog. Yo, man, we got some business to get to tonight, man. Yeah. We need you to put on your legal brain. You got to help us through this, man. One thing we've already kind of talked through and touched on was Roe V Wade. You said it, dog. You know, sometimes on a lot of times on these legal issues and a lot of stuff, man, in life, you know, since I've known you and LG, like I'm privy to information before it hit the public, you know what I'm saying? And you sat on this podcast about a month ago and you said, yo, dog, that's it. On this Roe v. Wade, this leaked, what is it, the draft of a ruling? You was like, oh, no, this is it. Ain't no hoping and wishing, that's it. It just came out early. And so we're here, we're in the thick of it, bro. Roe v. Wade overturned after 53 years.
Man, I'll tell you that Americans better understand that we are in a new era. Mm-hmm. And Roe v. Wade is just a piece of what's happening. Mm-hmm. We are in a new world in terms of your daily lives and how the law affects your daily lives, because the Supreme Court ain't playing. And look, Donald Trump said he was going to do it, and he did it.
He said he did it.
Somebody packing the court. They don't want Biden to pack the court. The court is packed.
It's already packed.
You know, Donald Trump took every opportunity to put a conservative in the Supreme Court. Yeah. And in the lower courts. Yeah. The lower federal courts. Yeah. And it's done. I mean, now we've got a 6-3 conservative tilt to the United States Supreme Court. And I won't say Roe versus Wade or the overturning of Roe versus Wade is the tip of the iceberg. That ain't it. Yeah. It's just a small piece of what is going to happen in terms of the Supreme Court and its new perspective and influence over our daily lives. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, we were talking earlier today in preparation for the show, and I said to you, yo, dog, I'm scared. Like, for as long as I've lived, and I can remember, you know, that you had this sense of, you know, the Supreme Court was not politicized. That it was just like you never even heard about the justices. You would just, you know, you heard about Thurgood Marshall in school and things of that nature, but there wasn't not a lot of news unless there was a really big case. And now, man, I'm afraid because, like you mentioned, former President Donald Trump has politicized the Supreme Court. Everything is politicized now. That I'm afraid that there's going to be folks who are, and you got to walk me through this and let me know if this is the case, where people are going to start elevating or escalating lawsuits in the attempt to get it to the Supreme Court, knowing that there is a tilt, as you mentioned, to try to get some long tenured legislation turned or overturned.
Man, no doubt. We call it certiorari, and it's the Supreme
That's a real
Court's,
word?
Yeah.
Okay.
Supreme Court's discretion to. No, I just be making up stuff.
No, hey, dog, I ain't no sorry. I was like, wait.
Did you make that up?
What is it again?
Certiorari.
Okay.
And it's the Supreme Court's discretion on whether or not to hear a case.
Yeah.
And the case has to have sufficient import to get the quote unquote notice of the Supreme Court so that they allow the case to elevate to the Supreme Court such that there's a decision. But man, it's scary because a lot of cases are making it to the Supreme Court that have profound impact on what's happening in our daily lives. And I'll tell you, it's interesting, and you all have to tell me whether or not you have this perspective, and you all out there listening too, because this show is called In the Black Court.
Yes, it is.
And you know who I thought was in the Black Court when he became a justice?
Who was that?
It was Clarence Thomas,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I thought he was in the Black Court, y'all.
Yeah. He got a black robe on.
And he black.
Yeah.
But, it's one of those situations where he's not one of the three liberal justices. And it's one of those things where I feel kind of bad because I feel like we fought for Clarence Thomas.
Yeah.
I mean, he initially came off like a victim when he had his hearing, and a victim from a African American perspective. I was mad. Yeah. Because I was like, look at how they're treating him. But he's been a disappointment to me in terms of kind of his decisions and his character. Well, I won't say character. That's too strong a word. Let me take that back. But his perspective. Yeah. And then I think there's some issues now with kind of what his wife has said publicly.
Real issues as it relates to what, January 6th? Yeah.
So I think that's kind of where things got a little shaky, is when you think you have a liberal black justice coming onto the court and he doesn't turn out to be that. But then it really took a turn when Donald Trump had the opportunity to appoint justices to the Supreme Court, because he knew what he was doing and he did it. Yeah. And here we are.
Well, Ken, we're not supposed to have to worry about the Supreme Court. We're not supposed to be sitting here saying, oh my God, this person is going to become a justice for life, and this is the highest court in the land. They can stay on here until they die. And now we have to worry about legislation going up to in front of them. And we already know, just because they are, we assume or feel or in fear of the fact that just because they represent a political party, that their decisions are going to come down to that. I thought that's not what the Supreme Court was supposed to be doing.
And you're right. And you're right. They were supposed to be this pristine,
objective,
apolitical entity that focused on just doing what was right. Not political. And you mentioned it earlier. Today's supposed to be a day where we're supposed to be celebrating. We've got a new Supreme Court justice today.
That's right.
Just got confirmed today. African American. We're supposed to be celebrating today. Why are we not celebrating? Because we know that she is going to be one of those three justices in the perpetual minority in the court.
Yeah, Ketanji Brown Jackson, correct?
Exactly. And we're still going to be in a situation where we're getting these decisions. Look at the decision up in New York about gun rights and overturning the New York law that limited the right to carry concealed weapons. Seems like a very conservative decision. You think about the climate decision that the Supreme Court recently made that limits the EPA in terms of their ability to present or enforce climate change related regulations. Seems like a conservative decision. Then you got the Roe versus Wade decision. It just kind of goes on and on and on. Now, they threw President Biden a bone on this immigration law because President Biden had suggested that immigrants who want to apply for asylum and come to the United States don't have to do that while they remain in Mexico.
Okay.
But there was a challenge to that, to the Supreme Court, trying to limit President Biden's power to allow folks to apply for or pursue asylum without remaining in Mexico. And the Supreme Court actually just ruled in favor of President Biden.
Yeah.
But it feels like they threw us a bone or threw him a bone because you've got these massive decisions that are taking place that seem to have a very conservative tilt.
Now, Ken, we do have to talk about Roe v. Wade just a little deeper. Now that the states get to make their own decisions about or make their own laws about abortions, I know you've been seeing, people protesting and things of that nature over the past week or so. What do you think is going to happen as far as how the impact of the court making its decisions on the state level? It looks like now, about half of the states are going to maybe ban abortion?
Yeah, I think that's the way it's going to play out. And those states are typically going to be conservative-leaning states.
Yeah.
And they're going to have the freedom now because there's no federally protected right to an abortion. They're going to have the ability in those states to bar abortion.
Yeah.
And then there are questions now about how you enforce that. If you can you take a pill?
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Versus the other type of abortion. There are going to be other issues that have to be litigated or addressed to clarify exactly what a woman can and can't do. But I know what we got to watch out for.
What's that?
Is the political landscape now that we have this decision.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Because I think there may be a very unintended effect of this decision by the conservative side of the ledger.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I want people to understand that not everyone who is angry about this decision is pro-abortion. Okay, many people are just pro-women having the right to decide what to do with their bodies, individual rights to make a decision. So just because someone says they don't like the decision doesn't necessarily mean that they're pro-abortion. So,
No, I was just gonna say, but again, man, I think we're in a dicey time, man, because I'm glad you mentioned that. It doesn't matter. It's like right now, whatever the subject is, whatever the political thing is that we're discussing, if you say anything that is in support of or is even close to objective, people try to label you as being on a particular side, and I just think that's very volatile. That's very dangerous in this time, but it's just a real climate that we're in as it relates to our political process and how we operate in this country right now.
It seems intended sometimes that you're easier prey if you're a divided country. And it seems like ever since we had Donald Trump, that's sort of been a goal to make sure that the country is divided. I mean, there'd be no one who would benefit more from that than Putin and Russia and China and folks like that.
Yeah.
But it's just interesting. It seems like there's this perpetual division in the United States. Kind of along those same lines, I want to mention that one of the unintended effects of this decision may be that the conservatives have mobilized a massive female vote during the election, maybe pro-liberal female vote.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see whether or not that actually happens, because you can see that there's a possibility that this decision could benefit the Democrats during the midterms.
Yeah.
Because you have women who are going to vote against this conservative philosophy related to telling them what to do with their bodies.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an interesting dynamic to see how this plays out.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, man. We gotta tread lightly on something, but we gotta keep it real, man. For real. This is serious. We got to do this.
My body's telling me yes.
My mind telling me no.
Should have told. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, yo, man, check it. One of my favorite artists is R.Kelly, Robert Kelly. So Ken, help me understand. There's another R word coming up that we got to talk about again, and this time
ridiculous.
That too, but racketeering. This charge for this case that he's been sentenced to 30 years in prison for, racketeering is in this case. And Ken, I don't know if you read much about the case, but when I heard the number of 30 years, this wasn't what he say. He may get up to 30 years. They like, no, he got 30 years. What was your reaction to hearing that R. Kelly was sentenced to 30 years in prison, bro?
If you don't know the case, you're gonna feel that way.
Okay, all right. Help us understand, because I
when you start looking in the case of 9 counts.
Okay,
but boy, I think what really changed the dynamic for the judge was the victim impact statements.
Yeah,
and the length of time that this allegedly occurred, and the diversity of the victims, because they said young women
and little
boys, and women. They broke it down like that: young women, boys, and women. Now I don't know what all took place.
Yeah. But
what I'm saying is, it sounded like a scary combination of activities, and it suggested the racketeering side of it was that there was this continuing pattern of orchestrated, multi-person enterprise
that word
channeled these victims to him. And when you start listening to what some of the victims said about how he destroyed their lives, man, that's some pretty heavy stuff. I always thought it was more R. Kelly got these young ladies who trying to hang around.
And they just want to be with him.
Yeah, just want to be with him. Because one of the victims, she even I think they're engaged. She's engaged with R. Kelly now.
Yeah.
She was saying that I wasn't a victim. I love him, and I always thought it was that type of person. But the impression I got from reading up on the story and the trial and the conviction is that that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about something that took place over a long period of time with a lot of different victims who were different types of people. And it really had a profound impact, negative impact on their lives. R. Kelly did indicate that he was abused as a child. Yeah. And that may be what in part caused that. The judge said, hey, I understand that, but it's not an excuse, but we do understand that. The prosecution apparently only asked for 25 years.
Yeah. I think his attorneys asked for like 10 years or less.
You hear the attorneys also, I believe, asked for just to pay the victims off and that he just be fined. But it didn't work out that way. But I'm gonna tell you something. It's all game.
What's all game?
It's all game.
What's all game? Because I got something I want to respond to what you just said. But go ahead.
Well, let's do that first, then I'm gonna tell you why it's all game. I think it's all
right.
Game.
So Graham, remember game. Let's earmark that word. The judge, before he sentenced him, said something to the effect of, "You left a trail of broken lives." And you mentioned the young lady that's engaged to him. I can't think. I'm sorry. We have to look up her name. Graham, you have to look up. It was 2 young ladies. Everyone knows that one of the things that broke this case was there was 2 young ladies that were staying with R. Kelly. It's the infamous interview that they did with what's Oprah, Gayle King's interview with him. And he's like, man, y'all killing me up in here. But there was 2 young ladies that were in that interview as well. Their parents, God bless them, were persistent in saying, hey, ringing the alarm, calling the news on radio shows and everything, saying, hey, we can't get in touch with our daughters. And what I believe, Ken, is that they were just the face of improprieties or things that he may have been doing with, underage girls or with people or women in general. But we didn't know about this underworld of things that he was doing. Now, I had, I don't know about you, but I had heard, I lived in Atlanta for a long time. I heard about, I think this has been, alleged, like beds in the studio and all that kind of stuff. You see the documentary. I had heard a little bit of that, but I think we didn't know about all of these other broken lives, as the judge said, that he had impacted.
Yeah, and it's if some of look, it sounds like all of it may be accurate for the most part.
Convicted now, so
if it is, it's if you impact lives like that, you're at risk, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why do I say it's all game?
It's all game. Okay.
I'm gonna say it's game.
All
right. R.Kelly's R.Kelly has a new attorney.
A woman attorney. Is that who you're talking about?
Who represented Bill Cosby in his appeal. When you look at what happened during R. Kelly's sentencing,
okay,
they didn't do anything.
What do you mean?
R. Kelly didn't make a statement.
That's right, he did.
His attorney made very brief comments.
Okay.
And you know what she said? His attorney, it kind of is what it is. When I hear that, I know there's a game.
Ooh, right? We're getting that exclusive attorney stuff. Go ahead, dog.
No, it is what it is.
Okay.
They're setting it up for an appeal.
Okay.
And I bet you they already know what grounds they're going to assert.
Any idea what that might be?
Relative to the appeals, I have no idea. It may deal with a witness, a juror. It could be anything. But to me, it sounded like they were saying, okay, we're going to concede everything right now. Because just like with Bill Cosby, we got plan B over here. And plan B is boom. And we're going to go ahead and let this pass. And then we're going to appeal all this and go ahead and move forward with an argument that the conviction was improper. I can almost guarantee that's the strategy.
You can see the play.
Yeah, because they just didn't present any arguments at all.
Normally, I just wanted to ask you, normally, is there some resistance in that phase of whether is it at the end of the trial or the sentencing that you're talking about?
Oh, of course, because you don't want to be insensitive with your remarks, but you want to say everything you can to influence the judge in terms of how they view what happened. He didn't say anything.
Can I ask you? Okay.
Go ahead.
No, I wanted to ask what would be a technicality, or what could a witness say? What could happen that could potentially help him in an appellate case as it relates to what he's already kind of jostling? Yeah, I remember Jocelyn is the light-skinned young lady. The brown-skinned girl, Jocelyn Savage was the light-skinned girl. She actually lived in Atlanta. And that's the way her parents had I think like a record store or something like that. But anyway, what could happen in an appellate case? I know you don't know what they have, but like what could overturn a racketeering case that could be a benefit for him?
It could be that the judge allowed, and I'm not a criminal attorney, but it could be that the judge allowed some evidence that was improper, or prejudicial, or unsupported. It could be that they found out that a juror misled them in terms of their disposition prior to the trial related to how they felt about R. Kelly. May have not disclosed information during the jury selection process that would have eliminated that juror. But it could be anything. I'm just telling you, it sounds like they know they have something. And we're going to hear about it, and then they're going to use that to try to overturn R. Kelly's conviction as a whole.
All right, another thing, because this is great stuff. I don't know if you understand. This is like pod magic going on right now. Listen, so there are people hearing that, and I want them to understand something. It doesn't mean, I'm asking you, I'm not stating this, I'm asking you, it doesn't mean that he didn't do something. It doesn't mean that someone was wrong in an accusation and he didn't do something. You're highlighting that there could be a technicality in the way in which a case proceeds that they can point out in which it could be it can win an appeal. Is that correct?
Oh, exactly. And what I'm saying is I think they already know exactly what they're going to argue. They've already strategized that. And when they came to court relative to the sentencing, they're like, cool.
Man, wow! Like that was great, man. To kind of that you saw that you could see potentially something like that happens or is happening. What's funny is when that happens, we're gonna take this clip and we're gonna have a pod about it and we're gonna replay it.
Got to remember that his new attorney is Bill Cosby's appellate attorney, and they got Bill Cosby walking around free right now because of her.
Bill Cosby at the career right now. Yeah. Again, man, I did want to say that I was when I saw the number of years that he was sentenced to, I was taken aback, like, man, it's 30 years. And then now, let me say this, Ken. So appellate court potentially could happen. We don't know yet, but just the sense that you're feeling. Now he's facing a state case and another federal case. Does this case that is around racketeering and I believe something else, I think that because they hit him with a sex trafficking law or charge or something like that, will that have any effect on those other two cases? Or were they just kind of, being mum because of those upcoming cases? Will it have any effect?
His attorney said one of the things was that they didn't want to verbalize too much in light of the fact that they're pending cases. I just don't
that's
believe
game.
I think that's game.
Okay.
I think they know exactly what they're doing. She also has requested that he be allowed to remain in New York in incarceration because her office is there.
Okay.
Instead of being returned to Chicago.
That's game too. That's a strategy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think they got something up their sleeve, and I think they think it's good too.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll see what develops.
All right. I told you the last thing on this for me. I do have to ask you another question, Ken. And you gotta help me through this. Graham is smiling already. Man, don't put the crease in your mouth, man. It ain't about no law stuff, man. All right, can I ask you this, man? I'm a R.Kelly fan. Let me frame it like this. I'm a big R.Kelly fan. He's probably one of my favorite artists besides Usher, right? I have not listened to his music. Come back. You can lean this way. You can stand close to me. But I have not listened to his music since all of this came down. There's a lot of people who are like, we shouldn't even bring his name up. We shouldn't listen to his music. He was stripped from streaming services and all of that. I see you doing a little bit of a Michael Jackson lean. You don't have to answer this question, but I'll go ask. Not us. Are people taking it too far? Like, can we not separate the human being from the music? We have never touched that subject.
Okay, look, let's be real now, okay?
Because I could name a whole bunch of people that did something wrong.
That's what I was going to say. Are you asking me to be real, or you asking me to just, try to...
Give me both answers. Give me the professional answer on... No. Give me the introspective answer. Can we separate the music from the man?
No. You can never separate the music from the man.
Okay.
Music evokes emotion, memories, thoughts, ideals. And so if the person who makes the music has issues, then that's a part of what's evoked when you hear it. So that's why people are having this reaction to R. Kelly. And it's hard to hear the music and then not think about the alleged victims. I mean, that's why people don't want to hear R. Kelly now, because they're thinking about the victims. Now, if you're saying, can you separate the man from his talent? That's a whole different thing. The man was ultimately a talented dude.
Okay.
So if you just into recognizing talent, he wanted to be, I ain't gonna say that, but.
So I can say R. Kelly is arguably the greatest R&B artist of all time, in my opinion, but he's disgusting. He should be under jail and all that, right? Both of those statements can be true.
If you accept that the conviction and the allegations, I believe, you could say that.
Okay.
But I will say this. I think that as years pass, people may start listening to R. Kelly music again. The music was astonishing. And as those memories fade relative to what we're experiencing now, the victims, the allegations, things like that, sometime, hey, look, man, Michael Jackson went through a trial like that. I mean, so let's just be for real. So it's just one of those things, when things happen, people tend to have short memories and They love music, and I can't sit here and say that there won't ever be a time when people would be listening to R. Kelly's music again.
Yeah, for me, I'm just talking about my own issue, the battle within me is that, I can go down the list. I know I done read a lot. I done seen a lot of documentaries and stuff. I know Elvis was on drugs. I know that he married Lisa Marie's daughter. I forget his wife's name. She was under 18, if I'm not mistaken. I can go through a whole bunch of, country artists and people like that have done stuff. I will say that it was alleged that, what's my man? Teddy Pendergrass? No, who is that? Come on, go. That's Teddy. Who was the one that was driving down the street in the car and they say he was with a dude in the car? Teddy Pendergrass. All right. Allegedly.
Transvestite. Yeah.
So, and I'm saying, like, keep going. So I'm just saying, if, like, what's my man, Frank Ocean? There's people who are gay. There's people who have done things badly. There's people who committed crimes. And they've made incredible music that all of us love. Bill Cosby, that we were talking about earlier, is the greatest comedian potentially, in my opinion, to walk Earth. We didn't do that top 5. We need to do that. And I'm saying I can't look at the Cosby Show no more.
Well, again, I think Cosby and R. Kelly fall in a different category because they're alleged victims.
Both had victims, bro.
That's what I'm saying. They fall. I'm talking about them.
Oh, they in the category together. Oh, okay.
In the category together.
Okay.
You mentioned some other folks. Now they in a different category. Yeah, you might have some differences with some of their behaviors or their antics or whatever.
Statutory rape.
Yeah, well, there is a victim there too.
Yeah.
But I think with Cos and R. Kelly in particular, when you start hearing people saying what happened to them and how it impacted their lives for the negative for years, then I think you get into a different category when people start reacting to their talents and their music or their shows. Is that now you got to start weeding your way through all that when you're trying to enjoy what they're presenting, and that makes it very, very difficult. Yeah.
No, I'll back out on this. Listen. One of my favorite songs is, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. Like that came out when I was in in 9th or 10th grade. But Ken, what I'm saying to you is that what am I supposed to do with that memory of me being in 8th or 9th grade hearing that song?
What I'm telling you right now, what you know now, and somebody says age ain't nothing but a number, with what you know now about this case and all that, you have to acknowledge that there is an issue there.
I feel you.
And then, hey, look, man, my man say ain't nothing wrong with the bump and grind. Yeah, it is. I mean, you gotta, it's really odd. We talked about this nexus between music and information and evidence and all that. Come on, let's be real. When you hear age ain't nothing but a number,
the second line is
come on, man. I mean, but too much is too much, man.
But bro,
it's just too much, man.
Bro, I done heard Keith Sweat say, you may be young, but you like, come on, man.
Keith Sweat ain't got.
He don't have charges. He ain't convicted. Okay, all right.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, last thing on this, Graham. I know we gotta get out of this subject. I'm just saying though, am I not able as a listener to take a song, a movie, and attach it to what my meaning in my life means? Like, can I not hear Your Body's Calling and think about my beautiful wife? Can I not hear World's Greatest and be inspired and not think about this dude?
No, because he made the song.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. That's where you're going to always have a little bit of a challenge, is that you can kind of try to isolate it.
Yeah.
But I think the challenge that most people have, not everybody, but most people have, is that the minute you hear the song, you do go to the other side of it, which is reality.
Yes.
It's what we're living, seeing, and hearing, so it makes it difficult.
All right.
But a talented brother, look, that's what I'm saying. You can't take away them from his talent now.
Yeah. Well, all them R. Kelly fans out there that still streaming his music. I try, man, but because that's a big deal, man. There's people who fall on both sides, and that's just what it is.
Man.
All right. Well, man, I couldn't even go, Graham. I couldn't even be at my man's birthday party last night, man, and without him trying to engage in his attorney tactics to try to get me to talk about who my top 5 would be. So, Ken, for 2 weeks, we've been talking about having this really, really important top 5.
It's easy, right?
Your favorite subject on the pod, all right?
This championship
okay.
time. This championship time right here.
Okay, let me see what you got.
I'm going to win this top 5. Y'all know I've won 7 consecutive top 5s. And I'm getting ready to win this one too. But you got to go. You made me go first last time. Yeah, you did. You made me go first last time.
You whispering. What's up?
What is it?
Oh, yeah, you're right. So, all right, Greg said we ain't even talk about, say what we talking about. All right, this is the top 5 point guards of all time. All right. All right, big fella, I know you're watching. All right, let's go. Who goes first? Is it my turn?
Yeah, it's your turn to go first.
Because I keep saying it was my. All right. Number 5. Woo, boy, I got the smoke for you tonight, dog. Again, dog. Listen. I know.
It's all hype.
Hey, man. Y'all just don't know how much Ken is looking forward to this. Number 5, with 10,977 assists. Now, let me tell you about criteria. So, let me get my thing off since Ken ain't going to try to run game. Point guards are supposed to be able to run an offense, assist, score points, and play defense. Half of the folks on Ken's list don't play defense and don't score points. Or maybe, don't even do a lot of assists either. All right, so number 5, Chris Paul with 10,977 assists. Averaged 18 points in his career. They call him the point guard. Mama, don't get offended. That's just what people use. They say people call him God. What's up, God? Peace, God. So, my number 5, Chris Paul, North Carolina boy from where he went to Wake Forest, Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Shout out to him, all the HBCUs. What's up?
I mean, that's, man,
Oh, he's speechless. All right,
man. We said top 5 point guards in history, man.
No, he's number 3 on the list of assists.
All right, man. My number 5, man. My number 5, and somebody y'all might disagree with this, man, because Jaden got y'all confused and got your headache and everything. But look, man. AI.
Oh my God.
AI. 4-time NBA scoring champ. 3-time. On the defensive side, NBA steals champ. 11-time NBA All-Star and 7 times All-NBA. Now, why do I say the dude was a monster on offense and defense, right? Like I said, he led the NBA in steals 3 times, right? But AI carried his team by himself, okay? I don't know y'all talking about somebody like Chris Paul got 18 All-Stars on every team he's been on. AI carried that team by himself to the championship. No question about it. Could be higher. AI in my top 5, man. And y'all robbed him of a couple years of his career on top of that. AI, top 5.
You finished or you done?
I'm finished.
Okay, all right. So number 4, Jason Kidd, 11,842 assists. He like number 2 on the assist leaders list. Averaged 13 points a game. That's why he's not higher up on my list. Played great defense. That's right. That's why he's not higher up on my list. And he won 1 championship with the Dallas Mavericks. Went to those Nets teams to back-to-back finals. I know you remember that, LG. That's when they were the New Jersey Nets and not the Brooklyn Nets. Shout out to J. Kidd, that guy. And let me say this about J. Kidd. I'm sorry. J. Kidd was the man. You remember when he played in California and he was the man? Everybody was talking about J. Kidd and he was the man, dog. You don't remember that?
Man, yeah, J. Kidd a little too stiff to make my list, man. You gotta have flexibility. You gotta be able to bend over, and stretch and all that, man. Use your arms. You gotta have longer arms than that too, man. Them dinosaur arms will hurt you, man. Number 4 on my list is undeniable. The great Isaiah Thomas is my number 4. Top 10 in assists in NBA history. One of the all-time leading scorers for the Detroit Pistons. Took him to 2 rings, but it's all about leadership, scoring, assists, being a well-rounded player, but you got to have that thing inside this right here. That's what Isaiah Thomas had inside, man. Number 4 on my list, Isaiah Thomas. No question.
All right, that's strong. He's a little low on your list. Shout out to Steph Curry, number 3, 4-time champion. That's first. 4-time champion. 5,388 assists, right? Averages 24 points a game. Now, here's the thing about Steph. Steph, while he may not be regarded like all the time as like one of the greatest point guards ever, even though this is a top 5 for that, he jumps up my list because, of course, his number of championships, but also when it's all said and done, we had 2 conversations about this on a couple of pods ago, that he may be regarded as one of the greatest NBA players to ever play in the league, and he got a lot of runway left. He looking real spry. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, I got 2 people from Carolina boys. He's from Charlotte. Shout out to Steph Curry. That's number 3 on my greatest point guard list.
My number 3 is the Big O.
Okay.
The Big O.
Who is that?
Oscar Robertson.
Oh, he played in black and white TV.
He played in black and white TV, but let me tell you what, he was a 9-time All-Star.
Okay.
But let me tell you about this dude.
Mm-hmm. Oh, snap.
First 5 years in the NBA,
Mm-hmm.
Oscar Robertson had averaged a triple-double.
That's crazy.
For 5 years, that body was a triple-double. This dude was a scoring, rebounding, and assist machine. If you want to go look back at some real basketball, a brother who could do it all every single night, the Big O, man, that's my number 3. Can't fight it, man. I know it's back in the day. I know a lot of young folks not familiar with the Big O, but the Big O, my number 3 point guard of all time.
All right, let's see. Black and white TV making the list. All right, Zeke, man. Zeke, number 2. First of all, 2-time champion, back-to-back. For real, man. Now, you start talking about a point guard. Point guard is supposed to do a lot of things. Zeke can play defense. I ain't talking about regular defense. I'm talking about he played back when they punched you in the face, they tripped you, they held your jersey, they did all kind of stuff dirty to you. Ask Magic Johnson, ask Michael Jordan. So he came up when they played real basketball. He from South Side of Chicago. He could score. I think he averaged like 18 points a game. 19 points a game. That's almost 20. Leader on the Bad Boy Pistons. Michael Jordan's nemesis. Michael Jordan can't stand that dude to this day. I'm stuttering. I'm so hyped about that. Dog, number 2 on my list, Bad Boy, Zeke, Isaiah Thomas.
You got Zeke a little too high because the number 2 is my man Steph Curry, our homeboy.
Wow.
You know, I think he's an 8-time NBA All-Star already.
Okay.
I think the all-time 3-point scoring champion in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
And he got 4 rings already.
Already, though.
And still working on it. And I want y'all to forget, look, it's funny because you all are talking about LeBron and his rings and still working on Steph, still working on it for real.
For real.
And he might get him another one next year.
Bro, I'm trying to figure it out.
I ain't talking about in no bubble either.
Relax.
I ain't talking about in no bubble.
Relax.
And what I'm saying is this too, he ain't begging KD to come play for his team either.
he already begged KD. So just go ahead. He flew to the Hamptons, got on a private jet and flew
back, realized he made a mistake and
got rid of him. Get going.
Made a mistake and got rid of him and still won a ring without him. That's what I'm telling y'all.
Okay.
So he ain't begging for KD to come back. Don't need nobody to join the team. He good. Because what Steph does, he makes everybody else around him better. But if they don't get better, he'll handle it himself. And that's what I like about Steph right now. So Steph is my number 2.
That was good. I like that. That was good for the part, how you did that.
Yeah.
All right, number 1. Listen, man, I don't know what we talking about. Dog, Irvin Magic Johnson is the greatest point guard ever to pick up a basketball. They call him Big Fella. They used to call him Buck. Dog, this dude was the man at Michigan State. Came in. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was pondering retirement. This dude came in, won him a championship, extended his career for about another 8 years. Let the man play until he was 42 years old. The magician who orchestrated Showtime. Dog, Magic Johnson, 5 NBA championships. I remember a time before Michael Jordan won a championship, and all my big homies, my big cousins, my big brother was like, yo, your boy cool with Michael Jordan, that is Air Jordan, but he ain't Magic. He got a long way before he get to Magic level. Magic got 5 championships. Shout out to Magic. I've interviewed Magic before. I met him with you, Ken. Shout out to big fella. You know I had to do it right.
All right, man, that's good stuff, man. But my number one is the man, that dude, my man Penny Hardaway.
Whatever.
No, my number one is Chauncey Billups. Big fella. You know, we've had a lot of good times with Mr. Johnson, as we call him, and like you say, 5 rings.
Yeah.
As a player, but let me say something else.
Yeah.
5 rings as an executive.
Yes, sir.
Got 10 of them. 3 times Finals MVP. When that light shone the brightest, he shone the brightest.
Yeah.
And that's how he handled his business. Meticulous, man, but great. Elevated his teammates, not only on the court, but off the court. He's a ray of sunshine. And his smile, filled arenas.
Yeah, man.
Bottom line is, and then as great a businessman.
Yeah.
And influence on the African American community as he was a player. So shout out to our boy, Irvin Magic Johnson. He definitely is the number one, and just the most wonderful person you would ever want to meet. I don't know how he stays so humble and nice, despite it all. I remember one time, and I know we got to roll out. Yeah, we were in Raleigh. I think we were in Raleigh or Chapel Hill somewhere. Grand Magic and I, and my thought was, man, when these crowds come around, give Mr. Johnson some room. Come on, y'all. Now, thousands of people, whenever we would go out somewhere, they just crowd around. And so me and Graham were new to the game with Mr. Johnson and new to hanging out with Magic. And we were somewhere taking care of some business, and here come the crowd. Yeah. Chapel Hill. We were in Chapel Hill. And I was like, now, everybody relax.
He's back. He's back.
You crowd, Mr. J. You crowd, Mr. J. He said, no, let me tell y'all something. I want to talk to everybody. And that's what he did, man. He wanted to give everybody access to him, give everybody a chance to have that moment with him, because he knew that would influence them for the rest of their lives. So I tell you, just a great man and a great person. In addition to the great things he achieved on the court and in the business arena. Just a great man.
Incredible life, bro. Like, incredible life.
Can we do these honorable mentions?
Yeah, we got to, man. It's my turn. So you All right, so my first honorable mention, I got to show some respect. John Stockton, it's my honorable mention. He had 15,806 assists. He's the number one. He's the assist leader all time in the NBA. So I had to show some love. He averaged I don't even know how much he averaged. Maybe like 13 points. He had Karl Malone there. But I gotta at least say that he's the assist leader. I gotta at least put him on honorable mentions.
All right, so I've got my 2 I'm gonna put together.
I got one more, but go ahead.
Steve Nash and John Stockton. I'm going to put them together. All right? Because we got to.
Do you feel you sound just like me? Like, we got to say something.
Put them on, give props. Shaq still hurt off what Steve Nash did to him with them MVPs. Yeah. I give him props, but me and LG were talking about this earlier. Like, if you know how you usually be out there on the court, you picking your 5, right? Yeah. And then you get down to your last 2, and you got Allen Iverson and Steve Nash over there. That ain't no decision. Yeah. So I don't quite get it, but I know they're great assist guys, great all-around players. They did elevate their team, so I'm going to give them props. But, now if we picking, our teams, like, and you get down to AI or John Stockton or AI or Steve Nash or Chris Paul or either one of them, there ain't really no decision for me. If I'm trying to get my best 5 and win a game in Woolin Gym or something. So I'm just letting you know that. I'm just trying to be real on that. That's all.
All right, my next honorable mention, Big O, man. Listen, Big O had 9,887 assists But it's what you said, Ken. That boy averaged a triple-double. Now, let me say this. The amazing thing about it is that record, like, nobody averaged a triple-double again for like 40-something years until Russell Westbrook did it. So, man, big old shout out to him with his, making our list for honorable mentions. I got a new thing, though. You got anything else on? All right, LG. I got another subject. Another segment I want to add to this top 5. It's called Not Top 5. I got somebody that needs to be on a not top 5.
Westbrook?
No. Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson, you take away his tattoos and his cornrows, and that's Chauncey Billups. So, listen, that boy didn't play no defense. Only thing he did is score. Hold on, watch out. You gonna get this show. This show. You gonna get the talk, dog. So listen, he didn't play no defense.
Craziness.
He was under 50% from the field. He took 27. He took 100 shots to score his points. He could score. He didn't get anybody else in the game involved. He barely had any assists. He ain't even on the list. It was on the top leaders. He ain't even in the top 20. I don't even know where he is, dog. So when we talking about top 5 for point guards, he don't even have all the qualifications to be in the conversation, dog. It's crazy. It's just because he was revolutionary because he looked like. Let me one more thing. He the Tupac of the NBA. He could do one thing, and that was score. And that way, everybody people liked him because he looked good and he talked junk, and that was all he did. That's why they liked him. The Tupac of the NBA.
I don't get the thing about not playing defense.
You gotta play defense as a point guard.
He led the NBA in steals for 3 years. You steal the ball on defense.
He stole the ball. He never made.
He was the NBA leader in steals.
Did he make any all defense teams?
I don't know, but he did. He did lead the NBA in steals for 3 years.
He didn't make any all defense teams.
The bottom line is, I think AI was at a disadvantage because of the teams that he was on because he had to carry them. He had to do everything. But what's interesting, if you go back and start polling NBA players about their top 5 or top 10 point guards, you routinely hear them talk about AI. Mm-hmm. But that's because they have the respect for him and his game, despite the fact that he was surrounded by players that weren't quite of a magnitude of what some of these other dudes had. Mm-hmm. So he didn't have the flexibility to do certain things. So what I hear most of the time when y'all go back and look at some of the interviews from some of the other players, like Shaq and Kobe and them, you'll hear them talk about how great AI was. But he had a disadvantage, and that disadvantage is his GMs. And matter of fact, you read some of the stories, that's what they say. He was laced with terrible GMs who didn't surround him with the talent that he needed so that he didn't have to do everything every time he stepped out on the court. So I think he's a great player. And like I said, if I'm trying to pick somebody on my team, AI gonna get on my squad before a lot of people would.
I know Graham looked up some information, and I want to see what he says. This is my thing. This is why I call him the Tupac of the NBA. Because of his look, because of him being revolutionary in all the things that he did, all of his appearance and wanting to be a rapper and, just wearing the gold chains and a big t-shirt. He was the appeal of him, the star power of him was what made people appeal to him. Like you ask people right now, like who's the greatest rapper of all time? When we talked about that, even though we didn't do a top 5, you said Pac. But we all know, like most people that listen to rap, that Pac he only kind of had like one flow and things of that nature. So when you look at all the qualities, it comes to being a great rapper. He didn't feel all of those. Same thing with Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson wasn't that great at defense, no matter what LG says in just a second. He scored a lot of points, but his assists are super low. I don't even know like how can you be a point guard and not get others involved? The last thing I'll say, Chris Paul. He did both. He averaged almost 20 points a game. He's number 2 on the all-time assist leaders list, and he ain't have a lot of talent around him. He's not winning a championship.
He had a whole lot more talent than what AI.
Where? What team?
AI didn't have any talent.
What team? The Clippers?
I'm just talking about with AI, with them terrible. I mean, it's a known fact.
No, I agree with you.
They criticize the GMs around AI for not surrounding.
But I'm saying that don't hold him back from being a great point guard.
This guy was an 11-time NBA All-Star
because he scored a lot.
No, man, this dude was a great player.
And fans vote on it.
And scoring is a part of it.
I know, but I'm saying this is a top 5 list of point guards, and there's other elements. When you think of it, Ken, you played enough point guard to know. And we don't have to downhill about AI. We already did our top 5. I'm just saying that when it comes to being a point guard, I done been in the gym with you. You know that as a point guard, you need to be able to assist and run the offense, bro. You can't just go out there and shoot and jack up shots. And then on top of that, he was only like, he was below 50% from the field. So not only is he taking all the shots, he missing more than half of his shots. And I know you don't respect that.
No, I do, and I respect it just like the other players in the NBA respected AI because of what he accomplished, despite what he was surrounded with. Because when you are 11 times All NBA and a 7 times NBA All Star, you have to be good at the point guard position, and he was. So
it didn't like his tattoos, though. They liked his tattoos.
No, come on, man. You don't make the.
I'm not even capping, dog. I'm for real.
You're not an 11-time NBA All-Star off tattoos. Come on, I know you're not saying that.
I'm saying.
Come on, man. You have to clarify that. Man.
Okay, let's clarify it then. Let's be 100. I'm talking to Attorney Ken Harris. It is the combination of his star power, meaning when I say the tattoos, I'm minimalizing it, but let's look at it in a bigger picture. Because of his tattoos in a time where that was revolutionary in the NBA, because of how cool he was, because of people he hung around, like all the popular rappers in New York and across the country, and then
I agree with all that, but that didn't make him an all-star in the NBA.
Okay,
I don't see the relationship.
The relationship is, Attorney, is that the fans vote on that. So star power and popularity plays a large part in who's voted into the All-Star game.
I said 7 times All NBA.
Okay, All NBA, and he scored.
So you saying the GM?
And he scored.
You saying the GMs voted for him because he had tattoos?
No, I'm saying that the fanfare contributed to that.
I'm just asking.
His popularity amongst players attributed to that.
How many steals did his tattoos get? Because he led the NBA in steals 3 times.
Steals is like what, 1.5, 2.5 a game? Come on, Rob.
Come on, dog. Man. He led the NBA in steals.
And he had scoring title.
Michael Jordan even now gets props for leading the NBA.
But that's not the number one thing we talk about with Michael Jordan.
But you combine that with the other things, the guy was also a scorer. So he played both sides of the floor. Mm-hmm. He was playing on offense, scoring, and he was playing on defense, and he was a great guy in terms of steals. That's offense and defense. That's what we call a two-way play.
Can't stop. He's not. You being a super lawyer right now.
No, I'm not at all.
You being super lawyer.
Not at all.
The thing that you're highlighting.
I didn't invent that stat about steals.
I know, but I'm saying, but you're highlighting it because you're trying to make that thing a thing that is a footnote when we talk about the best players.
You lead the NBA in steals as a footnote.
Yes. When we talk about Michael Jordan, listen. When we talk about Michael Jordan, do we say, Michael Jordan had all these steals? We don't even talk about him being a great defensive player. We talk about how many championships he won, his scoring ability, and being a great leader, how many MVPs he won. We don't talk about Michael Jordan. Sure had a lot of steals. Come on, Rob.
All right, man. Ain't nothing I can say now. You said that's a footnote.
All right, I'm sorry, Grant.
Steals, but anyway.
Well, I mean, he won defensive college player of the year twice.
He was a great defensive player.
Come
on,
man.
On the all defensive team in the NBA, but they were saying they were criticizing the way
he sped past that real quick.
No, but listen to what he's saying. Criticizing
the way that they actually get the voting on all defensive teams.
Y'all shooting a lot of bail, man, when it comes to whether or not, you know what I'm saying, why he didn't do this, that, and the third. He was a great scorer, man. He was an amazing scorer. He was a little guy. I'm sure.
And then we can say, man, if you're saying being an NBA all first leading the NBA in steals is a footnote. That
is a footnote. I ain't never heard you mention nothing about that man having any other players that we talked about. You talk about, man, he had a whole bunch of steals. Now come on. Yeah. All right, but that's top 5. You good on top 5? I just had to say that about your boy AI.
Yeah. We good.
Okay, man. Graham, is it time to go? Well, Rock, all right, man. I know.
Man, all you AI fans, man, y'all leave J Hill alone, man. Y'all, he didn't call him the Tupac of the NBA. Y'all leave J Hill alone, man. And he done put down Tupac and AI on one pod. Y'all leave the brother alone, man. Leave the brother alone.
Hey man, I don't want no. Hey, I ain't worried about the AI fans. Them Tupac fans, I don't want no smoke.
Man.
I'm good,
man.
dog.
Yeah, man. Next is Biggie and Shaq. All right, man. We'll leave him alone, man.
Comments.